Good morning, everyone. I hope we're live. I'm going to give it a minute and make sure everyone gets a chance to get on with us and see the big reveal today. It's an exciting day, lots happening. And I'm all bright. I'm in pink because it goes with the collection. So yay. And it's a beautiful spring day. I'm out here on the East Coast of the US, and it is bright and sunshiny, just like this great new collection that I'm so excited to share with you. All right, let's just get going. The new collection that I have to share with you today is the Garden Chronicles collection. It is my favorite. You know, botanicals are my favorite. They're my jam. They're what make me happy. And Garden Chronicles is definitely one of those collections. So we have a 12 by 12 paper pad. And like with all of our paper pads, there are 12 double-sided sheets. And you get 2 of each for 24 sheets in this pad. And then there's also kiss cuts, so you get some elements. So let's just go through this. Oops, thought I was all prepped here and not. Okay, so we have, I'm going to move these things aside. Yep, here we go. Oh, you know, some days are easy and some days are not. So we have our first paper here, and things are falling over. And the front side is a beautiful botanical with a plum background. And the back side is a tonal damask. Do you say damask or damask? A tonal pattern. How about that? So we have our botanical. You can see all the colors of the collection here. Rich, bright, and colorful. Now, we're going to go through. I thought I was all good, but I'm not. So we're a little turned around here. And we have a newsprint with botanical. And the back side is a ditzy print. So I like to have combinations of the graphic patterns, tonals, ditzy, to match with the vintage botanicals, more designed papers. And this one has a lot of the watercolor splashes and it's collage. There's engravings in here. You could fussy cut some of these elements to lift them up and give dimension to your pages or card making. And then we have a striped pattern. So this has pieces of the collection in a variety of the colors. And the back side is a tonal plaid. So a really nice contrast, complement. If you're not into the botanicals, you've got the classic patterns to go with it. And then we have a collage of vintage ephemera and ledgers. And the back side of this one is a painted collage with like a page starter taped mask area. So this, you know, it goes with anything, any sort of theme, and it gives you an anchor for, you know, where to place your photos, where to start things. And then, oops, a collage botanical with vintage ledgers, Lots of depth in this paper, and with the blues and the golden vintage colors. And the back side is a classic gingham pattern. Again, a nice contrast. And moving on, we have some lilacs. This paper has a lot of depth to it as well, with the page starter, again, here in the center. It's got a lot of engravings and flourishes and typography, all the things to give your page depth and to give you a starting point here with the page starter. And on the back side of this one is a taped together collage with some postage and envelopes. There's bits and pieces in here that you could cut apart and use as elements, or it also makes for a wonderful page as well. And then kind of encompasses all the colors of the collection here with the garden across the bottom. Again, wonderful for fussy cutting. You could take parts of this for a card or use the whole page for a scrapbook page. And the back side of this is a tonal pattern with, again, lots of depth. There's handwriting and postmarks and botanical silhouettes there. So I think you're getting the vibe of this collection. It's very vintage, very botanical, but then there's also some of my watercolor pencil lines in this one as well. Again, with a page starter and taped together, textbook, water stains, pencil lines, all the different things to give your page lots of depth and interest. And the back side of this is a lightly distressed graphic pattern. Again, a nice contrast, nice complement. And here we have another collaged newsprint, textbook, botanical, even have some old labels in here and ephemera. Again, great for cutting apart or for having different sections. Like, look at this and think, I could take a craft knife and go around the label here and then tuck some photos or journaling behind that. Could also take a craft knife to these flowers and pop them up to overlap your photos as well. And the back side of this one is a tonal lattice, going with the garden theme, nice contrast and complement to the other pages. Okay, this one is one of my favorites. I love doing collages like this with all kinds of vintage ephemera and tickets and engravings. And having this as a paper is really fun. You might have seen me post in one of my sneak peeks, and I was coloring this in with markers. So you could, this is like a fussy cutting dream of cutting out all these elements and coloring them in. But it also adds to create a really nice newsprint style background. And then the back side of that is a lightly distressed graphic pattern. All right, so that is all the pattern papers. And then we have a couple fussy cut sheets. So this time I put in an alphabet. So all of these just punch right out. So you have built-in ephemera in the paper pad, and you have an alphabet. And with the two sheets, you have plenty of letters to work with. So you can write your titles. These are great for just a monogram or for piecing together a title as well. And then the second sheet is full of frames. See, again, you have to, oh, I should add the back side of this one is blank. So if you have stamped alphas, you could add your own. You could turn these horizontal and kind of use as a journaling label. Lots of possibilities for that. And again, this one is double-sided as well. So you can use our Everyday Notes stamp set and stamp sentiments on any of these places, or you could handwrite things. But with 2 sheets, you get a total of 12 photo frames. So that's great for scrapbooking. Lots of pages. You have some instant page titles here, sentiments, type strips, labels to add to your dates and locations and all the details, and some banner sentiments that are great for card making as well. Oops, let's see. And of course, my fingers aren't working, so I tore this one, but there you go. So thankful for you, makes a lovely card. And that is the Garden Chronicles 12 by 12 paper pad. And we're just getting started. This is a deep collection with lots of different elements. So let's move on here. And I've got 2 paper pads for Garden Chronicles. We have our Garden Chronicles paper pad of 6 by 8, and we have Ledger Essentials paper pad. So let's start here with the Garden Chronicles. And again, what I think I did was I pulled them out so you could see them both side by side. All right, so I did something a little different. Usually you see the 6 by 8 is just a smaller version of the 12 by 12. But on some of these papers, I did different colorways. So you have, let's get back over here and remind you, whoops. All right, so to remind you, for our 12 by 12, we had the plum background. For the 6 by 8, we have a vintage kind of neutral background. So a nice contrast. You have both the 12 by 12 and 6 by 8 to work together and complement each other. And the back side is the tonal pattern. And again, we have our taped together birds and vintage ledgers. And the back side of that one is our gingham. And if you notice as well, the stripe is a little different. So we brought in the plum background of the first paper and mixed that in here to help tie everything together. So I really love this collection. Has a lot of variety in it, and just using it for all sorts of projects. I did just getting started on some little things like a little booklet, just folding the papers together. And that's this paper right here. So many fun possibilities with this collection and different looks for different themes. Really, really fun. Okay, and if you remember, the 12 by 12 had a neutral background, and this time I brought in the plum. And that is a really fun contrast as well. And our back side is a different pattern that you didn't see in the 12 by 12, and that is a teal postmark. Love the different contrast. Okay, going further here. Now this paper works lovely for horizontal and with the botanicals on either side. And then our back side is a ditzy print. And we have our garden here. And the back side is the tonal botanical. And gotta just flip through this. Here we go. And we've got our watercolor vine right up the side. Beautiful for scrapbooks, card making, or journals. And then our back side is a graphic print. And our vintage journal spots with a horizontal version of this page. Sorry, super thirsty this morning. Okay, and we're winding this one down here. The last one is the lilacs. And again, that is horizontal. So you've got your 6-inch and you cut 4 here. Got 2 lovely cards. And then on our back side, we have the taped together ephemera kind of vintage collage. Again, you can cut the little pieces out or use them as they are here. And this 6x8 paper pad has 2 different Kiss Cut sheets. So all the paper pads, they have Kiss Cut sheets and they are all different than each other. So we've got tickets that are going to just pop right out for you. Little guest receipt tally sheet, great for journaling, some seed catalogs, and some titles. And the back side of these, because they are writing, and if we flipped them, they'd be backwards, they are blank. So you could stamp your own images on them or use them just as a color block. And then the second Kiss Cut sheet for this collection is some ephemera bits. So these are 2-sided, so you can have your flowers pointing to the left or pointing to the right. And they all pop right out of here, just like so. So super easy to use and instant ephemera. So that is the Garden Chronicles 6x8 paper pad. And then we have the Ledger Essentials 6x8 paper pad. So again, 12 sheets, 2 of each sheet, and they are double-sided. So let's do this again. All right, got them side by side here. So my thought here was we have our front side that has a botanical collaged into it, but the back side is simply the ledger. So if you want the botanical side, you've got it. If you want the ledger side, you have that as well. An example, I actually worked this one into one of our bookmaker collections. And you can see here how nicely that all fits in to the bookmakers. So keep that in mind too. Make sure you've got the bookmakers on hand. All right, and our second sheet has the botanical and the ledger. The botanical and the ledger. These are pretty self-explanatory, but a real mix of different old ledgers. I love collecting old ledgers and have some really fun ones with all kinds of writings and even some old printed newsprint type French ledgers. These kinds of things add a lot of interest to your background with the writing as a texture. I love typography as a texture. So you've got the garden across the bottom or the plain ledger. This one, you kind of hardly notice it, but there's engravings in here. So you can see them there. And you can see the plain backside does not have the engravings. And this one as well. And this is horizontal format. And then the plain ledger on the back side. And our birds. And then our Kiss Cut ephemera. So this one has a variety of book plates, photo frames. So these are like Instamatic size photo frames, slide frames, some sentiments, and little flashcards. And then the back sides are blank. So you can stamp in your own words or handwrite and use this as like a journaling block. And then our second sheet is an assortment of tags. So you have these collage tags on the one side, and the back side are pieces of envelopes and ledgers for a more neutral background. So these are your ledger essentials. Super fun, super versatile, goes with lots of collections. You can mix these with bin there and field notes and find lots of uses for these. All right, let's see, what should we go to next? How about, dun, 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 laser cuts. So we have a wonderful laser cut set in this collection. The lasers are 2 sheets that are 12 by 8, so they fold down to 6 by 8, and they are double-sided. So we have our ephemera sheet with tickets and postage and little bits of ephemera and tags. And the back side, you can flip your botanicals and the labels. Another nice thing, like if I found myself, if I stamped and I messed up, you can just flip the label over and do it again. So you get like their second chance ephemera. And you can also use these blank backs to create your own. All right, and little charms. And then our second sheet is pretty much all botanicals and leaves. There's never enough of those. I love tucking leaves and butterflies and botanicals out from under everything. So these just punch right out. So you've got to be a little careful with some of the stems. They're pretty fine, but they all come out really nicely and easily. So that is the laser cuts. And then not only do we have 2 paper pads for Garden Chronicles, but we have 2 rub-on sets. I believe this is the first time we have 4 sheets, 4 different designs in each of our rub-on packs, and you get 2 of each. So there are 8 sheets in each of these packs. And if you don't have a burnisher, they do come with a popsicle stick. So let's just take a quick look at these. You can always go over to YouTube and see the full unboxing. So we've got 2 of this one with lots of palettes and botanicals and butterflies, some watery pencil line elements, some text blends, colorful text blends, and some neutral text blends. So lots of great variety. And as you can see on this one, we have lots of text blends and watery botanicals as well. So essential rub-ons, if you've been following any of the sneak peeks, you've probably been seeing me use them all along with this stencil. So this is our flourished lattice stencil. It's getting lots of use here in my studio, and I think you're really going to like this one. And we have some decoupage paper. So there are 4 different designs. You get 3 of each of these, and they are thin tissue decoupage sheets. So you can see the collage newsprint, ephemera, botanicals, and stripes, a great mix. And enamel dots. I know everyone loves the enamel dots, so we've got the colors of the collection here. And the Garden Chronicles sticker book. Love me some stickers. So these are PET and washi stickers. There are 5 different sheets in this pack, and you get 1 in PET and 1 in washi. So here is our washi sheet. So there's a number of border strips, doily edgers, torn bits, and then you also have it here in PET. Put it on there so you can see it's a matte finished. PET tape is kind of a vinyl, water resistant. Sometimes people use these kinds of stickers like on your laptop or your water bottle, but they are great for paper crafting as well. Okay, and then we have little collaged bits, and again, these are washi, and everything is kiss cut, so you can just kind of peel it up just like that, and you have a washi sticker or the PET. So either option, and it's like a twofer with the washi and the PET. And then we also have a sentiment sheet. So these are these 3 lines make up a complete sentiment, but each strip is separate. So they don't connect, so that you can place them as you want. You could mix the lines to be your own custom sentiment. And lots of options there. And of course, I can get it. Here we go. Of course, also in the matte PET. So depending on how you want to use them, you've got options. And we have some ephemera bits. Same deal. And these, which I love to color. So you've got your washi stickers, and then you have the PET. And the PET also take alcohol markers really nicely. So get out your alcohol markers and color these to your heart's content. All right, so that is our sticker book. And let's see. Hope I'm not forgetting anything. We also have, oh, I know what I didn't have out. 1 second here. How could I forget? There is, while we're talking PET, there is a ledger roll, a continuous roll, so it's not cut. I'm going to set these aside and back it up a little bit and show you the ledger tape. How fun is this? And let me just grab a tag. So I'm going to cut some to show you. Oh, and it's all unraveling. Okay. One of the great things about this tape is that it is designed to repeat. So let me just put it on here to just show you an example of how you're going to want to use these. So you could just set the tape like this and it's not going to line up exactly. But if you keep going and hold them over your paper, you will see, I promise, where it repeats. So here we have it. And create a continuous background with this PET tape. And that is super fun. So you can see how the watercolor splashes continue, and you can cover the whole background of this tag with the tape. So that is the Ledger continuous PET tape that you're going to want to get your hands on. It's going to be a hot one. Okay, I'm going to set this aside as I have unrolled PET tape everywhere. And wrap it up with our stamp sets. So again, you've probably seen me using these on some of the sneak peeks. I absolutely am in love. This collection is our Chronicle remnants. You have ticket bits, collages, ledgers, numbers, all kinds of fun things. And my flowers. Love the water distressed polar grids and the lilac and another botanical and little insects. And yes, it says my flowers, but you don't have to use them together. Maybe you're going to put my and then use some, maybe the Kiss Cut alphabet and say my favorite or my family. So my is something I see myself using quite a bit along with the polar grids and botanicals. And then we have fine ferns. We've had some ferns in some of our other collections. So you're going to want to mix and match and add these delicate fine fern silhouettes to new projects, along with some card making sentiments of hello friend, thinking of you, and thanks. So that is the 3 stamp sets you will find in this collection. And just to give you a little look, so I've been doing quite a bit of journaling with this collection, and this is the Arden 4x6 journal. It's heavyweight paper, it's stitched, it's a really good solid notebook, and it's great. It handles all my mixed media without having to add anything extra to hold it in place. So here you can see the different rub-ons and stamping happening on the pages, and the PET stickers. And I even took one of the Ledger Essential papers and used that as my background for this page. And I have one more in this of just an ephemera collage. And we also have a couple other pages I can show you. So again, using the different PET stickers with laser cuts. and the ledger tapes with the rub-ons, and lots of layering happening here with the ephemera and stamps and rub-ons. So lots of good things to be made with this collection, and I can't wait to see what everybody does. So thanks for joining me today. I loved sharing this collection with you. Be sure you reach out to your favorite retailer and make sure that they have this collection in stock or on order. And yeah, so have at it. And I'm excited to see what everyone makes. Be sure you tag Arden Creative Studio and tag Katie Pertiet, and we would love to see what you're making. And also, be sure you join our crafters group. So Arden has a Facebook group where everyone shares what they're making with our collections, and we would love to see what you are doing with our collections. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.